Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into the absolute absurdity that is the 2026 Zeekr 9X. Huck your seatbelts, because I want you to imagine, if you will, walking up to a luxury sport utility vehicle that looks like a futuristic high-rise building tipped over onto four wheels. You step inside its cavernous, leather-lined cabin, expecting just another posh people mover, only to realize that this 3-metric-ton family barge possesses an output of 1,381 horsepower. Yes, you heard me correctly, 1,381 horsepower. It accelerates faster than a Lamborghini Urus, packs more individual speakers than a small concert hall, and features second-row seats that rotate 180 degrees so you can face your passengers while the car allegedly drives itself. It is the absolute pinnacle of over-engineering, an absolute unit of a vehicle that makes a fully loaded Cadillac Escalade feel like a glorified, overpriced golf cart. But here is the absurd punch-in-the-gut plot twist. In its home market of China, this hypercar-beating luxury behemoth starts at roughly 65,400 United States dollars. Yet, if you want one here in the United States today, you have to navigate a complex labyrinth of import laws and shell out an eye-watering 375,000 United States dollars. How on earth did we get here? Buckle up, because we are going to tear this rolling paradox apart, piece by piece, and figure out if it is the ultimate automotive disruptor or just a very heavy, very expensive marketing gimmick.
Let us start with the sheer physical footprint of this machine, because the Zeekr 9X is not just a car, it is a towering declaration of intent. Dimensionally, it spans a massive 5,239 millimeters in length, 2,029 millimeters in width, and 1,819 millimeters in height. It rides on a gigantic wheelbase of 3,169 millimeters. When you see it in the metal, it exudes an imposing, high-waisted, flying yacht aesthetic. The front grille is absolutely enormous, stretching over a meter wide with a futuristic waterfall lattice design, flanked by matrix headlights that contain 42,242 micro-faceted diamond cuts. It rolls on gigantic 22-inch forged alloy wheels that take 30 hours to polish by hand. It is a bold, aggressive statement that weighs up to 3,150 kilograms unladen. Yes, you are driving over 3 metric tons of steel, aluminum, and silicon. Now, under the hood, or rather distributed entirely across its massive chassis, is where the real madness lies. This is not just a standard electric vehicle, it is a super plug-in hybrid built from the ground up on the Sustainable Experience Architecture super platform. The powertrain seamlessly pairs a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine with 3 silicon carbide electric motors. You have one electric motor on the front axle, producing 290 kilowatts, and 2 independent electric motors on the rear axle, delivering 370 kilowatts each. Combined, they produce an absolutely unhinged 1,030 kilowatts, which translates to that magical 1,381 horsepower and a tire-shredding 1,410 newton-meters of torque. Send all that twist to all four wheels, and this 3-ton yacht will catapult you from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.1 seconds. The top speed is electronically governed to 240 kilometers per hour. Let that sink in. You can out-accelerate a Porsche 911 while comfortably carrying 6 adults and their luggage. To somehow rein in that absurd momentum, the Zeekr 9X relies on heavy-duty 4-piston brake calipers painted in bright orange, clamping down aggressively on cross-drilled, ventilated brake discs. Owners report that despite the massive curb weight, the braking is incredibly smooth, linear, and utterly confidence-inspiring. Suspension-wise, it features a Hahan artificial intelligence digital chassis equipped with a dual-chamber air suspension setup, dual-valve continuous damping control, and a 48-volt active anti-roll bar. It can electronically raise or lower the ride height by 110 millimeters, providing a maximum ground clearance of 288 millimeters for when you inevitably decide to take your 375,000 United States dollar luxury lounge rock crawling. The chassis itself is constructed of 91% high-strength steel and aluminum, boasting a staggering torsional rigidity of 41,600 newton-meters per degree. That means it is stiffer than a bank vault, ensuring the air suspension can do its job flawlessly without the frame flexing under the immense weight. Let us talk about energy, fuel consumption, and range, because this is where the Zeekr 9X throws another massive haymaker at the traditional electric vehicle market. It utilizes a state-of-the-art 900-volt high-voltage electrical architecture, which is a massive leap over the typical 400 or even 800-volt systems used by its American rivals. It carries a 70 kilowatt-hour nickel-manganese cobalt battery pack supplied by contemporary Amperex Technology Company Limited, which alone is larger than the entire battery packs in many fully electric commuter cars. On pure electricity, it claims a range of 380 kilometers, though real-world owner consumption figures hover around a rather thirsty 25 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers of driving. But because of that highly efficient 2.0-liter petrol generator, which operates at over 46% thermal efficiency, the combined driving range stretches to an anxiety-erasing 1,250 kilometers. And when you do finally need to plug into a charger, that 900-volt system allows for a staggering 6C charging rate, meaning you can blast the battery from 20% to 80% capacity in exactly 9 minutes. It is a complete masterclass in eliminating long-distance range anxiety entirely.
Moving inside the vehicle, the cabin of the Zeekr 9X is where things transition from merely fast to outright opulent. The interior is arranged in a highly spacious 2+2+2 6-seat configuration, and it is honestly less of a car interior and more of a private aviation lounge. The materials are absolutely superb, heavily draped in soft Napa leather, real wood trim, and seamless panels that make the inside of a Tesla Model X look shockingly Spartan and cheap by comparison. The second row is undoubtedly the main event here. Those two middle seats are floating cloud recliners featuring a zero-gravity mode with fully extending footrests. Furthermore, these second-row captain's chairs can rotate a full 180 degrees to face the third row, allowing you to hold a mobile board meeting or simply play cards with the kids while on a long road trip. The digital sensory environment is frankly overwhelming in the best way possible. The dashboard is dominated by a gorgeous 16-inch 3.5K resolution organic light-emitting diode center touchscreen, accompanied by an additional independent 16-inch display specifically dedicated to the front passenger. The driver gets a crisp 13-inch instrument screen and a massive, futuristic 47-inch augmented reality head-up display that projects navigation and traffic data directly onto the windshield. But the ultimate party trick is the 17-inch organic light-emitting diode entertainment screen mounted to the ceiling. It operates on a motorized sliding rail, allowing it to move forward and backward through the cabin depending on whether the second row or third row passengers want to watch a movie. All of this heavy lifting is powered by dual Qualcomm Snapdragon 8295 computing processors, ensuring the user interface is lightning fast and entirely devoid of lag. Audiophiles, prepare to have your minds completely blown. The Zeekr 9X is equipped with an earth-shattering 3,868-watt Naim audio system featuring 32 separate top-tier speakers. They even integrated independent speakers directly into the front seat headrests, so the driver can quietly listen to navigation prompts without interrupting the surround sound movie experience happening in the back. It is absolutely no wonder that American automotive reviewers have affectionately dubbed this vehicle the Hangzhou Cullinan. On the autonomous driving front, Zeekr has thrown every single piece of advanced hardware they could possibly find at the 9X. The sensor suite includes an unbelievable 43 different sensors, highlighting 5 LiDAR units, 1 mounted prominently on the roof, and 4 wide-angle solid-state units tucked cleanly into the front fenders, bumper, and rear spoiler. The raw processing muscle comes from dual NVIDIA Drive Thor U chips, delivering an astounding 1,400 TOPS of total computing power. Zeekr claims this rigorous setup is fully capable of Level 3 autonomous driving, featuring a general automated evasion system and full vehicle-to-parking self-driving capabilities. Oh, and when it is driving itself, the exterior indicator lights glow a brilliant turquoise, a new standard setting a precedent for the entire automotive industry to clearly warn pedestrians that the computer is actively at the wheel. To truly understand where the Zeekr 9X sits in the grand automotive hierarchy, we must compare it directly to the heavyweights currently dominating the American electric sport utility market: the Tesla Model X, the Rivian R1S, and the upcoming Lucid Gravity. The Tesla Model X, priced at roughly $99,990 United States dollars, offers a 100 kilowatt-hour battery and 1,020 horsepower. But owners frequently complain about the notorious falcon wing doors failing in the winter snow, and an interior that feels incredibly tight and nowhere near luxurious enough for its massive price tag. The Rivian R1S starts at around $94,000 United States dollars and delivers 850 horsepower. It feels like an absolute monster off the road, but its software, connectivity, and highway autopilot systems are widely considered second-rate compared to Tesla, and its interior lacks true executive refinement. The 2026 Lucid Gravity is perhaps the closest technical competitor, featuring a massive 123 kilowatt-hour battery, a 926-volt architecture, and 828 horsepower for a starting price of $79,900 United States dollars. Yet, even the Lucid Gravity lacks the sheer 1,381 horsepower output of the Zeekr, and early owners of the Gravity have reported a frustratingly incomplete software stack that lacks basic features like a functional phone key. The Zeekr 9X effortlessly undercuts them all on its native pricing, while doubling down on raw technology and interior comfort. However, this brings us to our detailed opinion analysis and the brutal, unfiltered reality of actual ownership. Real owners have started taking delivery, and their reviews paint a slightly different picture than the flawless, glossy marketing brochures. While they absolutely rave about the supreme seat comfort, the immense audio system clarity, and the sheer power delivery, the software experience remains a notable weak point. The autonomous driving system, despite its massive hardware processing power, is currently described by real users as overly conservative and downright annoying in daily traffic. Owners report that the car reacts to almost all moving traffic with sudden, jerky braking, making it feel exactly like you're being driven by a nervous teenager who just got their learner's permit. Self-driving is basically unusable unless the road is completely empty. Furthermore, owners note that the software interface, while visually beautiful, could still be faster and noticeably less buggy. Cost of ownership and market position present another fascinating paradox. In China, you can pick up the top-trim Zeekr 9X for around $84,000 United States dollars, which makes it an unbelievable market-breaking bargain compared to a Mercedes-Benz GLS or a Range Rover. But here in the United States, we cannot officially buy it at a dealership. The only way to get your hands on one is through a gray market importer like Players Club Cars, who cleverly exploit the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's show or display exemption. They handled the complicated importation logistics, but the price immediately skyrockets to a staggering $375,000 United States dollars due to a strict 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles and hefty logistical markups. Furthermore, if you buy it under this specific show or display rule, you're legally restricted by the federal government to driving it only 2,500 miles per year. At that extreme price point and with those severe mileage limitations, its actual market position in America shifts drastically from a disruptive family-hauling bargain to an ultra-exclusive garage-bound toy for wealthy technology enthusiasts who just want to flex at the local country club. In terms of mechanical reliability, the brand is still very young. While the Geely Holding Group certainly has deep financial pockets and proven engineering chops via its ownership of Volvo, there simply isn't enough long-term statistical data on the Zeekr 9X to guarantee that its highly complex dual-chamber air suspension, motorized rotating seats, and tri-motor hybrid systems will not become an absolute financial nightmare once out of warranty. Importing one also means you immediately kiss your factory warranty goodbye, leaving you entirely reliant on specialized third-party mechanics to fix a vehicle that is essentially a rolling 3-ton supercomputer. Let us lay down the final verdict on the 2026 Zeekr 9X. The real strengths of this vehicle are absolutely undeniable. The powertrain engineering is nothing short of a masterstroke, producing 1,381 horsepower while simultaneously offering a blazing 9-minute fast charge and a 1,250-kilometer combined range completely shatters the heavy compromises typically associated with pure electric vehicles. The interior is a massive triumph of spatial luxury, offering premium materials and a digital sensory experience that officially put legacy Western luxury automakers on serious notice. The 32-speaker Naim audio system and those rotating zero-gravity seats are genuine, tangible innovations that completely redefine passenger comfort. However, the shortcomings are equally glaring and cannot be ignored. The massive curb weight of over 3 metric tons is frankly ridiculous, making it an absolute behemoth that burns through electrical energy at a rapid rate of 25 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers even when you are driving it defensively. The highly touted Level 3 autonomous driving system is, according to actual daily users, half-baked and plagued by frustrating phantom braking. It is a classic textbook case of ambitious hardware severely outpacing software development. And for American consumers, the current geopolitical trade climate renders the vehicle almost entirely unviable for normal daily use. Paying $375,000 United States dollars to be legally restricted to a mere 2,500 miles a year turns an incredibly practical sport utility vehicle into an expensive garage queen. You could buy a fully loaded Tesla Model X, a Rivian R1S, and a Lucid Gravity combined for roughly that same amount of money, and you could actually drive them wherever and whenever you want without government restrictions. So, is the Zeekr 9X genuinely worth its money? Or is it just clever, flashy marketing? If you happen to live in a market where you can purchase this vehicle for its intended retail price of around $65,000 to $84,000 United States dollars, it is unquestionably the automotive bargain of the century. At that original price, it makes the Tesla Model X look austere and poorly built, it makes the Rivian R1S look remarkably unrefined inside, and it makes the Lucid Gravity look totally underpowered. It impressively delivers hypercar performance and Rolls-Royce levels of luxury for the price of a mid-tier Jeep Grand Cherokee. But here in America, at a nearly $400,000 gray market premium, it is nothing more than a highly desirable geopolitical forbidden fruit. It firmly proves that the Chinese automotive industry has fundamentally cracked the code on luxury hybrid performance, leaving Western automakers scrambling desperately to catch up before the tariff walls eventually fall. The Zeekr 9X is a phenomenal, groundbreaking machine trapped squarely behind a massive geopolitical barrier. Thank you for watching, and if you strongly disagree with my take, or if you are ready to wire $375,000 United States dollars for one, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and let us argue about it in the comments below.